So, what would be your top three advice for a company that is struggling to building and growing a successful analytics team?
One thing and it's a great question. Thanks for asking it. One thing that people continually bring to me is, and ask me about is, what problems should we be looking at? Where should we be focusing our AI efforts? Well, we all have jobs because every business has challenges. You don't need to invent challenges to address AI, to use AI against. You should be using AI and analytics against, if you need to increase the margin of your business, or if you need to retain customers, for over a longer period, or if you need to increase your cross-sell and upsell. You shouldn't have to invent problems to apply AI to. You have plenty of challenges and problems to work on those first. So I think that's the first and foremost, is the focus on strategic problems that the business wants solved today. I think that's one of the things. You mentioned it earlier in our conversation. The second challenge is the human dimension, the quality and the cohesion of the team that you're going to hire. That's always, this is a very human-driven part of the business. We do hear in the press, and it seems to have damped down a little bit over the last couple months, is that, AI is going to take over the world, and AI is going to take over all these jobs. And, I just don't think that's really true. AI will take over some jobs, but it will create even more jobs. So the people that you hire are critical to your success. And one bad apple, this is the one area, there are a few areas where analytics teams are just like every other team. So if you hire, one or two bad apples, you're going to have bad team cohesion, bad collaboration. So hiring, is the number two area. And number three is being aligned with your organization and being aligned with the strategic focus. Make sure that you're working on things that people care about. There are projects that we all like to do and want to do because they're fun and sexy. But if they don't apply to the business, then you're kind of off the reservation on your own.
And also sometimes people would make problems more complex than it needs to be.
That's true.
So find the simplest answer.
Yes, that's true. I tell my data scientists that all the time. If the answer is the simplest answer possible, then you're there.
So give us your look into the crystal ball. Where are we going? And what is your kind of thinking on where the analytics is going, where the analytics teams are going in the future?
That's a great question. I'm doing some work with a couple of small companies right now that are focused on explainable AI. As you mentioned earlier, when we're using neural nets and other technologies that we can't really explain how they're making their decisions, that's tough. It's difficult for compliance-based industries to use those technologies, but they would love to have that explanatory power or that predictive power of those technologies. So we're working to bring together multiple algorithmic approaches so you can have explainable AI that gives you the highest predictive power, yet the explainability of the models and the algorithms. So working on that, I think that's going to come to be in 2 to 3 years from now, maybe even sooner. There's a lot going on in that area that's very exciting. People often ask me, when will we get to artificial general intelligence? And that's always thought of in the dystopian, lens of like Terminator or those, sentient robots and those kind of things. And my answer is 150 years from now. And and I get pressed on that, and I say, look, it took us 70 years to get to where we are today, and we can barely have Siri answer a question reliably for us. So I lay it out that I do think it's 150 years from now when we'll see AGI working. So I wouldn't worry about artificial intelligence taking over the world. We are working towards artificial specific intelligence, or specific artificial intelligence. And what will happen is that those systems will be buried into systems of systems. Just like now, we don't think about it when we walk in the room and we hit a light switch and the electricity comes on. None of us think about Nikola Tesla or Westinghouse or Edison or any of those kind of people. They used to in the past, worry about that stuff. We don't worry about that anymore. AI is going to be buried into Amazon, and
it has to become a utility to improve our life.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And I think that there are many, many people working on AI to improve our lives. And I think that's the direction it'll take probably for the rest of my life, the next 30 years, 20 years that I'm working. So a lot of good things to come to us and for us from AI in the short term and the long term.
John, thank you so much for taking the time and giving us and sharing with us your experience. I really love when a practitioner is sharing the experience with other practitioners. So thank you so much for that. Listeners, this is the end of our second session. Stay healthy, stay safe, and bye for now.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Gokula. Appreciate it. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
You too.